I am as independent, career-driven, and generally socially liberal as they come. Yet for the past 6 years, I have staunchly refused to call myself a feminist. Hi, my name is Zarina Matcha. I am an author and poet from London, and welcome to my channel, Non Feminist Gal. Growing up, I self-identified as a feminist, but the more I spoke to feminists, read feminist books and articles, and listened to what feminists were saying, the more I realised I disagreed with much of their viewpoints and came to view feminism as a fundamentally divisive and militant movement. A lot of women, and men nowadays, are coerced or pressured into becoming feminists or adopting feminist views because of how much feminist lobbying there is in the mainstream media. This is something I can personally attest to, as when I went through my feminist phase, I tried to encourage other people to also become feminists, seeing feminism as synonymous with gender equality. Yet over time, I have come to see that feminism operates very much like a religion and spreads many false narratives, such as women have been oppressed since the dawn of time, we live in a patriarchy that systematically oppresses women, women are paid less than men for doing the same job, and gender differences are socially constructed. While I don't deny that there are many self-described feminists out there who do have open-minded views and do say much that I do agree with, I have found the majority of contemporary feminist vitriol to be radical and at times misandric. Whenever I say that I am not a feminist, I am usually told that I have misunderstood what feminism is, or that feminism just means gender equality. This channel is my response to those assertions. I am hoping that it will help those who share views similar to me but are too afraid to voice them out loud. My main assertions on this channel are that contemporary post-60s feminism was never about gender equality, and a lot of the rights that women have gained in society, such as voting, abortion, and equal pay, were less to do with feminism and were instead thanks to advances in science, technology, capitalism, and classical liberalism. The concept of feminism began in France with the French Revolution, which was part of the European Age of Enlightenment. For those who are unfamiliar, the Enlightenment was an important period of European history between the 17th and 18th centuries in which reason, empiricism, and science triumphed over religious fundamentalism. This is where concepts like separating church and state come from. Mary Wollstonecraft, a famous Enlightenment scholar, published A Vindication on the Rights of Women in 1792. However, the word feminisme, coined by French utopian socialist Charles Fourier, was not invented until the 1800s. Wollstonecraft never once called herself a feminist despite being credited as the mother of Western feminism. In Who Stole Feminism, American academic Christina Hoff Sommers distinguishes early women's thinkers, whom she dubs equity feminists, from post-60s feminists, whom she dubs gender feminists. Yet many early women's thinkers, like Wollstonecraft and the suffragettes, did not call themselves feminists, or if they did, their use of the term feminist meant something very different to what it means today. Just because two movements share similar groups of people doesn't mean they are the same. Stokely Carmichael and Nelson Mandela were both public figures fighting for black rights. However, they had completely different philosophies and goals and even came from different countries. They were part of different movements. The only thing that they had in common was that they were both black men. We must distinguish between early women's thinkers and the feminist movement, both of which were very different. So to be clear, when I use the term feminism on this channel, I am specifically referring to post-1960s Anglophonic feminism that has continued until today. My views are coming from a secular, non-religious, and socially liberal perspective and will include some minor critique of Abrahamic religious fundamentalism, so please be aware of that. However, when criticizing religion, I'm specifically referring to the dogmatic principles, not the spiritual principles. I do think there's a difference between religious dogma and following a faith as a guiding philosophy, just as there's a key difference between Enlightenment-based women's liberation and Marxist gender feminism. Also be aware that this is all opinion-based and is coming from my own research. My opinions are constantly evolving, and I'm sure they will continue to do so with this channel. I want to have discussions with people, not start arguments. If you are a feminist, I ask you to watch my content with an open mind, if not to see an alternate viewpoint. If you wish to communicate further with me, feel free to join my Facebook group, Liberals Against Feminism, which is in the description below. Women Against Feminism is also a great group. but I wanted to create a group specifically for those who have liberal views but don't agree with feminism. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy my content.